What's going on, guys? So Ari over here thinks I shouldn't bother comparing these two guys, the AirPods Pro and the Galaxy Buds Plus, but I think we should.
I think a lot of guys will agree with me. When he was first playing out this video, I didn't think it made sense because it's kind of like the same video as last year, except it's with the Galaxy Buds Plus.
They made improvements though.
Okay.
They increased the battery life, they changed up the sound. It's better,
I'll
it's worth
listen to
it.
your arguments, but I don't know. I just feel like nothing can beat my beloved AirPods Pro.
What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and despite what Ari says, I think it is worth comparing these two earbuds. Here we have the Galaxy Buds Plus and the AirPods Pro. Now, you might see the price difference and automatically assume the AirPods Pro might be better because they're more premium, but the Galaxy Buds Plus has a lot going for it, but we'll see which one is better overall. Now, of course, the first thing we're gonna take a look at is the design. So when we're talking about the Galaxy Buds Plus, we've got a very similar look to the previous generation. Only thing that they really changed up are the touch panels on the sides that have this prism look. I actually really like these. They look really good in the ear and they actually fit very snugly. So I think they've got a pretty low-key design, especially if you opt for something like the black one. But these are nice and tiny and compact. You even have the little ear tips or fins over here. So if you wanna do some exercise or work out or be active with these, you're not gonna have an issue keeping them in. So nice and tiny earbuds that I think look really good, and the case is very compact and small too. You got this nice cylinder kind of look. You throw this thing in your pocket, you barely know it's there. Now, when it comes to the AirPod Pros, this also has a pretty compact design. The overall size is about the same as a regular case of AirPods, but flipped the other way around. Now, the shape might make it look like it's a bit bigger than the Galaxy Buds Plus, but if you look at it from like this angle, it's actually quite a bit smaller. So this one, just like the Galaxy Buds Plus, very easy to take around. The case is nothing to be concerned about. But when it comes to the actual earbuds themselves, you might have a different opinion. Now, these aren't the typical AirPods Pro that you see everywhere. These are colored by the folks over at Colorware. They customize a ton of stuff. If you guys are interested in checking out all the kind of things that they custom paint, like the ones that I have over here, I'll have them linked down below. They make awesome stuff and they do a really good job. The standard ones look like these. So they look like shorter AirPods. And when you have them inside of your ear, boom, they look like this. And as you guys can see, they have a shorter stem than the regular AirPods, so they're a bit more inconspicuous. Even though I get them custom painted and all that, and they've got a more improved look than the AirPods, I still do think that I gotta give it to the Galaxy Buds Plus. And when it comes to the overall cases, they're both so small that it's negligible how different their body sizes are. Now, when it comes to which one is more comfortable, I say that largely depends on whether or not you like the in-ear design that these earbuds have. It's a matter of personal preference. To me, they're pretty much the same level. Once you've got that in-ear design, I'm pretty much good to go. Maybe a slight nod to the Galaxy Buds because you can swap out this little ear fin over here. So if you want to change the comfort in that regard, you at least are able to do a couple of things with this to kind of change the way it feels. While the AirPods, you only have the ear tips to change like you do with any other pair of earbuds. So an extremely slight nod to the Galaxy Buds Plus, but overall, I do think these are the same level of comfort. I can wear both of them for hours on end without any ear fatigue. But now let's compare their features. Now, first things first, if you're looking at the AirPods Pro and you have an iPhone, once you go into the Bluetooth settings, you'll be able to access these features over here. But if you have an Android device, you're not gonna get any of those settings. You won't be able to access any of them. You'll only be able to connect it. Now, if you have the Galaxy Buds Plus and you use an Android device or a Galaxy device, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to get the Galaxy Wearable app and you'll be able to customize and do all the features that you want to have access to. But if you go over to the iPhone, you actually still get those features. There is an app for it on the iPhone now, so you can pair it with the iPhone and still have access to everything that you have on this phone. Now let's talk about the main features. These feature active noise canceling and a transparency mode, and that basically allows you to either block out sounds around you and only listen to your audio, or let sounds in around you so that you can hear everything that's going on, so that you aren't completely blind to the world. whereas with the Galaxy Buds Plus, you are not getting active noise canceling, but the passive noise canceling is still pretty good, and it does have an ambient sound mode. Now, I will say, when it comes to the ambient sound mode, the AirPods Pro completely trumps the Galaxy Buds Plus. Galaxy Buds Plus does a pretty decent job. You can hear that the mics are working to kind of let everything in, but it also includes your own voice, so you kind of hear an echo of yourself. And I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty weird sensation. It's definitely way more comfortable with the AirPods Pro. You turn on that transparency mode, and it's like you have nothing in your ears at all. Apple did a phenomenal job there. And while I see this kind of ambient mode with a bunch of other earbuds where you kind of hear yourself and you hear everything around you kind of heightened a bit, it's just not as good when you're comparing them side by side. So definitely the AirPods Pro in that regard. Now, something that I like with the Galaxy Buds Plus is that it has an equalizer setting built right into the app. So if you want a bass boost or you want to change it to a softer sound, more dynamic is probably the best. You can go ahead and change all of that, and you can do that on the iPhone as well. So I definitely like that feature with the Galaxy Buds Plus if you want to up the sound quality that you're getting out of these. You can't do that with the AirPods Pro. What you get is what you get. There's no changing that unless you go into the music setting. There are ways to do it, but not specific to the AirPods Pro. Now, something that these both have on their respective devices is the ability to read out notifications. You can't do that with the Galaxy Buds Plus on the iPhone and vice versa, but they do work on their own platforms. And that's probably the only feature that's really missing on the Galaxy Buds Plus on the iPhone or iOS devices, that ability to have it read out those messages. Meanwhile, on the AirPods Pro, if you pair it with an Android device, you're gonna miss out on a few things like the ear tip detection to make sure you have it placed in your ears the right way. Also the ability to call out to your voice assistant. Now, of course, these being a pair of truly wireless earbuds, that Find My Earbuds feature is really important. You get access to that on both devices with the Galaxy Buds, but you can only do it with the iPhone on the AirPods Pro. But when it comes to the actual feature set, limitations aside, I do think that the Galaxy Buds Plus offers a bit more customization, a bit more things that you can fine tune, whereas the AirPods Pro, while it has a bit more limited features, I think it does a better job at implementing those features than the Galaxy Buds Plus. So while the AirPods Pro does a better job at the features that it does offer, the Galaxy Buds does some of the things that it wants to do pretty decently, but I gotta give it to the AirPods just for the fact that it executes a lot better. Some of these features you probably will never go into the settings and actually mess with unless you're like a nerd like myself. But for like the average consumer, you're gonna be a little bit happier with the feature set on the AirPods. That is, of course, if you're using an Apple device. But real quick, let's talk about the way you control these devices. With the AirPods Pro, you have these 4 sensors where you kind of just push in so that you can play or pause your music, double tap to skip forward, triple tap to go back, that kind of stuff, as well as the ability to pop them out of your ears, pause your music or whatever you're watching. And with the Galaxy Buds Plus, we have these touch panels where you can just kind of tap it, double tap, triple tap, whatever it is. These I think are a lot easier to use than grabbing the stem and pressing on it. So definitely controls go to this guy for sure. And it of course also pauses your music or whatever you're watching when you take them out of your ear or one out of your ear. And that works across both the devices. So when it comes to the overall controls, I gotta say these are a bit easier to use. Tapping is just so much better than like pressing a stem. But of course, the most important thing that we've gotta talk about is the sound quality. I will say this, guys, when it comes to the sound quality, I'll be straight up with you guys. The AirPods Pro, yeah, they kind of crushed the Galaxy Buds. If you're someone who doesn't really notice the difference with different kind of earbuds, it might not be a big deal. I tried to have Ari tell the difference between the two of them. She didn't see the gap that I saw. So the average person might not be able to see exactly what the differences are, but I do think that they'll walk away knowing and hearing that the AirPods Pro are better. So if you want to be specific, you get way more bass on the AirPods Pro than the Galaxy Buds. My experience with these is while they sound pretty okay, there's quite a lack of bass. Even if you go into the app and then you do bass boost, it doesn't really help that much. Vocals still sound clear, but overall, you get a much fuller sound out of the AirPods Pro. You kind of have to expect that. These things cost $250 versus $150. So with that price in mind, you're gonna expect some really high quality sound to come out of these guys. And since we're talking about sound, we should also be talking about the mic quality. Now, when it comes to the Galaxy Buds, Samsung has gone ahead and introduced new mics, and I believe they added an extra mic to this. So the audio quality has actually been improved. The first generation Galaxy Buds, whenever I tried to use it and make a call to somebody like Ari, she would always complain that she couldn't really hear me and I just sounded really bad. Whereas with the AirPods Pro, you're not gonna have any issues whatsoever. These sound super clear. AirPods have always sounded good. But I am happy to say that the Galaxy Buds Plus sound a lot better. No complaints from Ari. So they both sound good. Now, the last thing that we have to talk about is, of course, the battery life. Now, these are actually surprisingly solid. With the Galaxy Buds Plus, on a single charge, you can use these for about 11 hours. That is way more than I've seen with most other earbuds, and you get another 11 from charging inside of the case. So you get a total of 22 hours, which isn't a bad number. The AirPods Pro lasts about 4.5 hours, and with the charging case, you get that 24 hours. But what this tells you is that you get a lot more continued use out of the Galaxy Buds Plus, so you can use these for quite a bit longer before you need to throw them inside of the charger, which could be great for long flights. I've had long flights because I travel to California so much, which is a 6-hour flight, and I usually end up having to charge these while I'm on the flight, whereas with this, that's not gonna be an issue. So even though collectively the AirPods Pro last longer, I will give it to the Galaxy Buds Plus because they require less charging within a session of listening. Not to mention, both of these charging cases support wireless charging, so if you wanna go ahead and use them with a wireless charger, you drop them on and they'll be able to charge with no problem. Now, what's the verdict? Which one should you buy? Which one is better, right? Well, it all depends on your device, of course. If you're running an iPhone, you might want to pony up and just get the AirPods Pro. You can't beat the software integration that you get out of this, as well as the overall audio quality and that active noise canceling and transparency mode. It just does all of that a lot better with the ability to read text messages. It makes sense, right? But if you don't want to spend that kind of money, are the Galaxy Buds worth trying with an iPhone? I definitely say so. If you want to save like $100, and these will probably even drop in price from that 150, especially now since they've got an app on iOS, so you can get access to a lot of those features that these offer. Now, if you do have like a Galaxy device or an Android device, you might automatically assume these are the better ones to go. While these do have that deep integration with Samsung devices and Galaxy devices, easy to pair, all that good stuff, the AirPods Pro might be worth considering if you just want a better quality earbud. These definitely sound better and they have that better active noise canceling. So if you really care about that stuff, these might be worth looking into. So I will say it's pretty much up to you depending on what you're looking for. I do think that the AirPods are a better overall earbuds, but you will be paying for that. These are a nice runner-up if you're looking for something cheaper. So that's pretty much my thoughts. I do like the AirPods Pro more, so Ari is right. But if you have a budget and you don't want to hit $250, Galaxy Buds are no slouch. But after hearing all that, I want to know what you guys think. Which would you go for if you had the choice, the Galaxy Buds Plus or the AirPods Pro?
Choose the AirPods Pro.
Don't listen to her, pick what you want. But that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be the cool guy or girl that gives it a thumbs up. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace. Why are wives always right?